Herkese selam dostlar. Ben Santo. Kingdom Come 2'nin 57. bölümüne hoş geldiniz. En son nerede kaldık inanın hiç hatırlamıyorum. Ben bu oyunu yaklaşık bir aydır oynamıyorum. 57. bölümdeyiz bakalım. Hani sanırsam bir 10 bölüme oyun biter diye düşünüyorum. 10 saat, 15 saat sonra bitebilir. 15-20 saat sonra. Böyle düşünüyorum. Ya yan görev yapmayacağım artık. Neden? Oyunu bitirmek istiyorum artık. Bazı bug'lar çünkü sinirimi bozdu. Bir de şöyle bir şey var. Oyunda alacağımız bir şey kalmadı. Hani söyleyeyim. Oyunu unutmuşum. Her şeyimiz full. Paramız kaç para vardı? 11k paramız var ama bu oyun niye garip geldi lan? Hassasiyet niye bu kadar çok? Ayarlar, görüntü ayarları. Kontroller, fare hassasiyeti. Baba. Atımız da bayağı iyi. Yani alacak bir şeyimiz yok yani. Çok görev var ama yapmak istemiyorum ya. Ana hikayeleri yapacağım. Görev yerine gidelim baba. Neymiş? Lütfen bakalım. Bunları da yaparız belki. Görev yerine gidelim. Konseye ne diyor? Kralın oyun. Konseye ne sız? Heh tamam bunu hatırladım. Aa biz kıyafet alacaktık. Tamam yıkandık en son. Böyle bıraktım oyunu aynen. Şu kıyafetlerle oraya gideceğiz. Kral Sigismund'la karşılaşacağız. Şimdi ona öyle bir dümenden bir şeyler vardı yani.
Don't think I'm sorry.
Look at this man. A rebel against the laws of God and of the city.
Silly doggy.
Nothing is sacred. Come closer and see the face of a good-for-nothing sinner.
Hey, selamünaleyküm.
Here I am.
Let's have a look at you. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your everything as it should be. Do you know what your duty for an inexperienced greenhorn like you?
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice.
Aynen. Tavsiye
I
dinleyelim
wouldn't want to
hacı.
foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaid or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted. We can't allow that to happen in the...
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhit stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with...
What's it going to be? Piss off!
To stay in the...
Correct. The councillors have a lot, and in general, a good waiter has to be...
Oh? I thought I had to...
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants. Understood?
Ya her şeyi batırırsam?
What if...
Then I'll see to it that you won't get a job. But I'm sure that's not going to happen.
Well, what's it going to be? Piss
I know it...
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait.
Ne diyor? Şarap servisi. Oho.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons.
There are the pictures of wine.
Our current Waffenarsenal
Hopefully
is
I
a
won't
joke.
splash anyone's
and on
shoes.
top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any
You
Räuber
there,
in the domain?
lad? A cup of red. And don't you skimp on me.
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the dry
wine.
devil, used that
I'll be
thing.
right back. I
That
apologise, sir.
Hackenbücher.
Which one? Monastery
Handcannons.
red.
Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is
sir.
eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city
Thank you,
garrison.
waiter.
And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The dry devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region.
şarapçı oldu.
We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with
I'd
a
like
few
some monastery
rusty
wine.
halberds.
Refill my
And who
cup,
is
boy.
it you want to fight? Exactly. The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up!
Monastery wine.
King can
Here.
arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
I'm sorry, sir.
Right, Eldris.
Orders from above.
This is unbelievable.
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory. And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
I apologise,
So
sir.
you suggest we
Which
just
wine?
wait with
Red
arms
and
crossed
quickly.
for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always
Orası
ask
çocuğu,
the
bir
king
de
to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the
sir.
current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks
thank
about
the
the
Lord.
matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the honorable council on
Waiter,
the cleanliness
get me
of the
white.
city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't it the same thing?
So, the cleanliness of the city is not
Hey, where's my white?
what it should
I'm
be.
sorry, sir.
The current baths in
Orders
the city
from above.
fall far
This is
short of covering
unbelievable.
all the citizens' needs.
But we have another bathhouse
there,
here.
a
On
word.
Hopering.
My friend Adam from the baths in Haradek district told me about it. He says it's filthy.
Nonsense. He's just envious.
Is everything all right?
Bet he sees the opportunity.
there's nothing you
and
can do
people
about it.
are
Come
lining
closer.
up to bathe there.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Where can I find...
Use your eye and come right back with it.
Baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do
Nice.
with the baths.
Whose
Unless
silver
the
might
Lord
this be?
wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
It's only a waste of time because we're always arguing about the same thing.
Not at all. If you'd finally admit that it's a trifle, we wouldn't have to keep coming back to it.
A trifle? Do you ever walk the streets here?
What are you
Sewage,
waiting for?
Rats.
So, did you...
I did.
Not so loud. And now go back to your job.
You'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nars's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us
Ne
with his
yapmam
visit.
gerekiyor?
And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does.
Ha. Son seviyelerine hizmet ediyoruz.
No damage.
Okudum.
Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're...
I apologize, sir. I'm speaking about
Which
the
one?
Rutard
Are you
incident.
colourblind?
You were there, weren't you?
White.
Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
Hey,
What
where's
happened
my
there?
white?
Leave nothing out.
I don't like
Sir?
hard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Well,
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself.
Kral nerede oğlum? Amına koydum bunu.
That's true.
Sigismund burada
Because
değil.
if we don't do something about him,
Vale.
the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Ha bu şarap ustası.
Boy, I'd like some white.
If nothing happens,
I apologize,
there's
sir.
no point in dwelling on
Which
it.
wine?
Let's
White.
move on.
Toka.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it off so quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened?
Thank you,
I'm
waiter.
not keeping anything from him.
Ne demek
There's
dostum?
little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's
I'm sorry.
skirts.
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die
I
defending the
apologize.
city.
All right. If you really don't have anything new
Amına
to
koydum
say,
karısı.
let's
Yardım
turn the
etsene
page.
bana. Başlarım şimdi senin şarap
Some
görevine.
adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. Not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword fighting school brought this custom to us.
I'd like
It's
some
now
white.
run by the German Menhard. Who knows who that fellow is?
I apologize, sir. Which wine?
You act like that's the white.
Good, sir.
And to accuse a swordsmaster without
Ya
a
ipneliğine
shred of
şimdi
truth
kırmızı.
about me. One of the most fishwives in the marketplace.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences.
As you wish,
punished by the bailiff.
Sir Ulrich.
And that's that. Go, go. There are more pressing matters to deal with.
More pressing than the open contempt
waiter.
of the whole town garrison. The guards are apparently settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock
Everything
of the
in
whole
order?
town.
Not quite. But I think you might be able to help me. Come here!
All day long.
What can I help you with, sir? I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while... I really... A fine, sir.
One who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of
Sikerim
customers.
senin eldiveninde.
Hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why would
Yahya
I-
mıyım lan ben?
monastery wine. Refill my cup, boy.
I'd like to oblige, but I'm not allowed.
Since there is the eternal dispute over the cathedral,
Oğlum hadi
the
lan.
building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settle it. Right under our
Yanlış bir
nose,
şey mi yapıyorum ben acaba?
just a village with a monastery.
Günlük.
And they are going to Macarol Mining City. Why
You
can't we
there,
build
lad.
faster?
A cup of
Hire more
red.
craftsmen, start with night
I
shifts.
apologise,
Skip
sir.
on me.
Which wine?
Red, and quickly.
Are the experts
Bak
from
senin
Bar
ağzına şey.
the city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Sir?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own
You,
order
lad.
there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen.
Have we met?
Well, naturally.
in the side nave
I go to your tavern almost every
Hell
day.
freezes over, my
Really?
friend. Your place is at
You
least
must
two
have
steps
decent
behind mine.
wages to be able to visit the best tavern in town regularly.
Ha! I think not.
Excuse me. You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a
Çok
seat in
ayak
this
üstünde
council.
dolanmaya koşuyor.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the
I like them
services
right.
our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to
I
the army.
apologise, sir.
If that's all
Which
they-
wine?
Are you
They would be defeated
colorblind?
by that bunch of
Right,
ne'er-do-wells
sir.
from the alehouse on Opring.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Good. Those wrestlers upstairs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all
Hey,
out.
waiter, pour me
Ah,
some
yes,
pie.
I had forgotten.
I
What
apologise,
do we
sir.
have to discuss next?
Which wine?
Are you colorblind? White.
Ya senin amına koyarım şu.
Good, sir.
Thank you, waiter.
Oh be bitti amına koyayım.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's going to tackle Rootard.
Oğlum çekil kenara salak. Oy, Sigismund. Reis. Onu sikeyim. Amına kodumun keli seni.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Seni sikeceğim oğlum.
Like this man of fights!
O sırada Raborş kalesinde. Ne oldu? Hayırdır? Aha bizim adam. Bizim Topaz Reis. Godwin. Reis be. Godwin'in yüzünü bir lavuğa verdik
Now,
ama.
father,
Put a little life into your dying.
Bölümünüze
See more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms.
Allah Allah.
20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject.
Özgür olmak
How
nasıl?
does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Şarap, kadınlar, müzik. Şimdi ne
What do you
yapacaksın?
plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the king?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser.
Do you know any of the guests?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty... We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi couple.
Wait a moment. Rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep it. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so...
I wouldn't be too sure. Who's that French fellow you brought here?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth. Besides, he defended... If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old...
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
With you.
Tamam kral. Vay be. Godwin'in hayırdır kıyafetini niye değiştiremiyor? Çaldığım şeyler duruyor. Kitap okuyabiliyor mu? Kursuz ayakkabıları niye giyiyor oğlum Godwin? Tam siktir. Samuel. Aa, hatırladım lan ben bu adamı bir yerden.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians. I'm Godwin.
Peace be with you. Neither...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. And we are both a little unfamiliar. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is...
We would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to have... And why would they not...
Dostlar edinmek mi istiyorsunuz?
Are you looking for friends among us?
Let us say rather that we have chosen a side. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole... You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and...
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by...
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have...
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead.
Henry?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good...
Well, maybe you'll get to know each other better. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead...
Wait. A black from Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right.
I knew of someone.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel...
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Mar.
And that was...
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments.
Oh,
As far
üvey
as I know,
kardeşimiz mi?
Martin didn't, at least none of it. He took in Henry and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
Oğlum
For
kardeşimiz
that,
miymiş?
there will be more suitable...
Excuse me.
Ben içmem.
Oh, thanks for that.
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation.
Same to you.
All hope.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. I am a warrior, a traveler.
My word.
Mais non! And I'm glad.
It's a pleasure to make... How?
Ah, c'est une... And only lost it...
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère. Ah, this Bohemia is a do tell me about it. No doubt.
My last...
I've heard of this
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing.
Then, what are you doing here at...
The Lord... You said...
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? I think not. To recite, I require the proper... But of course! If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here...
I am operating, as they say. My great benefit is my strong connection with the... There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my...
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses
and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Let's just go and sit down.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Düşünelim reis.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends.
A little... I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan... and the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But...
well... I'm curious how you hope to shut
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our...
When Sigismund sees that...
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves. But he won't engage in...
But he can't retreat either.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary for the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We just need negotiators who will push the...
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was...
Why are you doing...
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian...
I'll help you.
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Haman Alder, and Anne. If you can get those 3 on our side, meanwhile, I'll take care... What? Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. There aren't many like you.
What if it...
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean slow...
Tell me...
Certainly.
Bocek.
That's just the thing. He doesn't play the big game. Because he always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even...
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his... Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's...
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz.
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? So far, Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young... But don't trust...
And what use can she be to us? Apart...
She's better... And
I'll get on it.
I wish us both luck.
Success to...
us the likes of these.
Not even. I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're.
Ha! Even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, we have a new guest. I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave.
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with...
I'll talk to you later, Father.
You're in my home, so you'll talk...
Is that your...
Unfortunately.
I came with a delegate.
Why so strict?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a... I got him a place at the Archbishopric. Only it wasn't long before they... And then, I find out he's settled in some... But he took his boozing and whoring along with him. Lost everything.
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer...
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced...
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest than some
How dare...
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other.
You're dishonoring your host.
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults.
I'm not happy about this. Isn't how I imagined my fight.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
You don't know which end of that thing is up. What's wrong with your legs?
Enough. Leave me be. My God. Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. You could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the Archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well...
So Father would be satisfied. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize...
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days? He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Older.
Aye.
That sounds very important. Considering you and Older are... After your encounter with... Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it.
What else can I do?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out.
Do I have any...
If it's really that important...
All right, then. You've heard... It's a nice idea, but we can't wait...
Only no one's going...
Older's...
Leave Older to me.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime.
You're starting to say... May I...
You? Anytime. Unlike this pack of...
Young...
He got a harsh lesson. But if not, war will make a...
Do you think...
I since...
What do you think about...
Are you testing me? Job's called this a...
To turn out well for who? Some are up...
Better make...
Godwin, we didn't have much time for conversation on the way here.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, He undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an
Harbi niye
event.
gelmedi
Haven't you
Sir Divish?
heard? Lady Stephanie is with
Aa,
child.
hamile mi
No
kalmış?
one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, it doesn't matter who kneaded
Vay
the
amına
dough,
koyayım. Sir
as
Divish.
long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord.
Sir Divish ilk oyundan tanırsınız belki. Hayır ya. Bu akşamki toplantıdan beklentiniz nedir?
What are you expecting from today?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to, as long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be...
Bu görev bana neyi gösteriyor ben anlamadım.
That's exactly why we mustn't wait too long.
Sir Bojack, I need to...
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone, Yobs, comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're...
On the contrary,
Does that improvement include a few thousand...
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing... Only in order to get them.
You've got my attention, but not my... I need guarantees of security.
Of course. Once it comes...
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund?
My guarantee is called, if I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
Amına kodum pezemek miydiniz? Bana ne dersin?
How about...
He's a youngster.
Maybe you're right.
No man of any age, but it's especially true. On the other hand, maybe...
I'll convey your offer to Lord.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to say...
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop.
Sir Hanush!
You do? And who is it? I hope it's not one...
On the contrary!
Kunstad? How the hell did you...
Well,
Mutually?
He's got a...
Stop beating around.
Lord Kunstad has a niece, so...
Hans Capon? Godwin, you conniving...
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is niece. If you're... I'll make sure that you get...
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa.
Forget it. Soon I'll be... Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. Cheers to you. And to your parlaying skills.
İyi lan evlendirdik. Hani şu an Capone'u evlendirdik. Lord Capone.
Sir Bojack.
So Hanush agreed.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain.
Thank you.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yika and the unhappy Lord Caitlin.
Here's to a...
Papona söylesek mi lan?
Take a look at that. A nice
Papon nerede? Lord Caitlin.
I hope there'll be no singing. I've had a few nightingales.
Have you got something?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung, and they think that can turn them.
But surely they're not all like that.
Allies or not, someone ought.
O şimdi ne yapacağız?
Bloody well done.
Hiçbir muhafızla zar oynamadı.
The Lord be with you. I feel a luck. What game would you... Let's play.
Today's my lucky day. I can feel it in my bones.
Am I supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain? You have to have a bit of sense and count the dice.
Güncellemede bunun seslerini değiştirmişler dostlar. Çok güzel ses çıkıyor. Tık tık tık diye.
That was come on. It has to work out sometime. See, you can do it. Keep it up. I'd like a beer.
Here. That's enough.
Something like
Your
this
turn.
happened to me back in '98. But that was different.
2-2-2-5-5. Kaç puan yapıyor? 300 puan. Kafi ya.
You might even win with that. One beer.
Oha, zor attı.
That's what I'm talking about, damn it. That's how you have to play.
What do you mean?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pussy, brother. Only on pussy.
Ne
Why
diyor
do
lan?
you give a fuck? It's none of your bloody business.
Pay her God knows what, and then she leaves. They always leave.
That's
So
good
you're
too, but you
jealous
could
of
throw
me or
better.
what? So they put out, we fuck, so what?
Aye, they put out.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers! Mind your own fucking business. I just don't want to be alone.
300 puan. Değer mi? Değmez ya. Bir tane bir aldım, zar attım. Bir, iki, üç, dört, beş. Devam et.
Well, you're not afraid of anything.
Aye, about 3 times already.
1, 2.
Bullshit. You haven't heard this one.
I did. You said the same thing last
Let
night.
it be
I'm
now.
telling
I want to
you,
play too.
You haven't heard this one. Listen up.
A tankard of ale, thanks.
Güzel bitirdik.
So, you know about the mill. And about those 3...
My God, what
I
a
knew
fuck
it'd
up
be good.
again.
You already told me.
Hmm.
And about how you were
So what bothered you so much?
You were a real fucker, the lad.
I know. You said that already. Oh, these grand aristocratic. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all...
But then you'd miss all the grub and the...
Oh?
It seems...
And how's he gonna do it? Didn't you see them?
Well, different.
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is open resistance.
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while longer.
That's one thing you can always count on him for.
God forbid.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace him.
A lot of people think the wealthy burghers will stick with Sigismund, whether out of fear or...
Well, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has the city council under his...
Well, at least there's a few
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estates. Not to mention that his son was killed in the sea.
And that's exactly why we must...
I hate sweeping.
Bizim adamın kafası harbi fena güzel ha.
How are you getting on so far?
Aside from the happy family reunion, everything is going according to plan.
I'd almost forgotten about that little detail.
Father is getting...
Keep it up. We've still got a lot of... Just don't overdo it with the wine. No one takes a walking...
Okay. Fazla içmeyeceğiz.
I've got some good news.
The bad news is there's hardly any female. There's some old bat standing there with two young girls, but she watches us, so at least tell me the good news.
You're going...
Is she at least pretty? You're really a barrel of laughs. Now, enough nonsense. Let's...
I'd better slow down.
Ah, what can one expect from a man?
İyi lan, sorun çıkartmadı.
Sir.
Nor I, until now. I am Sir Conrad, Lord of Vechta.
Used to be. My father's...
And I used to be the Royal Mint Master, until the king decided to replace... We've more than you think. If my memory doesn't so I recollect at least from my recent...
Served.
Even so. Before King Wenceslas appointed me his Mint Master.
And now look at us. We have cast off our...
There's no point in waiting for divine intervention. On the contrary...
Are you...
I haven't quite decided yet. It's true that... But if our rebellion were to come face to face with Sigismund's army...
Do you think you might get your...
I doubt it. Half the town hates Vavak, but no one would even think of saying a word against him. And he knows that his security stands and falls with his function.
It was a pleasure.
Likewise. Jesus Christ be praised.
God bless.
Bizim adamın kafası iyi.
Hey, innkeeper, that beer?
Sir Kun...
You're Godwin, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Have no fear. I know Martin well.
What do you think of the rabbi's offer? The could...
Or nothing. To be honest...
He said he was interested in an alliance.
Aye, but still he must be aware...
So you don't...
And isn't it natural? It's not just... They live in our city, but they're more...
Was ist denn los? Ein Bier bitte.
I expect you know...
Why wouldn't I? She's joined at the hip.
I hope she doesn't feel unwelcome here. I've heard...
To her own relatives, certainly. And I cared for him devotedly till the day he...
So it's not true what they say?
Vile slander. People just can't forgive her for...
Will you support...
That depends on what it is. If he decides to just wait...
Do you think we should look for help?
I came here for one reason alone. to hear a plan of it. If Jobst doesn't lay one out before me, I'll...
What are you skulking around for, you crook?
Ne yapacağım ki şimdi? Görevde ne diyor amına? Anna'dan destek al diyor. Anna'yı bulacağız bakalım. Bu mu? Anna bu mu? Ah.
God be with you. There's something I'd...
God be with you.
Your diplomat...
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Job's plan has some gaps, milady.
To muster an army that Margaret...
Christ.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my... Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
How do you know Liechtenstein is behind it?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them, but they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein, on the contrary...
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not a...
Then you're a...
The wine here is average. The cooks lack it. So, to the point.
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to...
Nothing more?
You manage large estates. In return for your job...
I've managed quite well up to now, taking care of my own resources. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason.
Do you have something in particular in...
Well, one of the guests here...
who's that?
Harman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him...
And these...
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself...
You were dealing with the enemy?
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear.
I'm supposed to...
Harman Alder was given the documents to... He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them. So...
And the papers I'm supposed...
Just insignificant documents. If the...
Have you fallen...
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of... They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband. And the fact that I'm handling his estates...
All right, I'll help you.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the... Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes...
Oh.
What brings you here? God bless.
Aren't you a bit...
What's your problem? The horses are fed and watered?
God forbid. But standing around...
Not really.
Shall we...
Well, I'll wait at the table over there. Hey, didn't you want a game of dice? I've been waiting for you.
Somehow I'm no longer in the mood for it.
That makes two of us.
On top of everything?
No burgers, daughter.
I've got those papers from...
Quiet!
My lady, with all the clamour going on, here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you. No.
Yes, quite. But let's drink.
I'd like...
Wise. No matter.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful...
Is this supposed...
Like I said, miracle. Tell me, Godwin of the
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Vald...
Both of them.
Good. This is going to be a long story, and I could...
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Eyvah eyvah. İyi mi yaptık?
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
Vay be. O sırada Kuttenberg Belediye binasında. Heh. Bize döndü hikaye. Şarapçılık yaptık en son.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rabble get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylanders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors.
Konuşma lan lavuk.
You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence.
Where are you going? Mind your own business.
The same is true.
Excuse me.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad. He's not here. He
Bir anda şöyle çıplak dursam.
being self-satisfied. If he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
Bize manastır şarılın.
We have concerns, friend.
İnşallah
The
doğrudur.
Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries. They cannot be relied upon.
Manastır şarabı bu mu lan acaba?
Now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish.
Canım
God
şarap
grant
çekti.
him eternal glory.
We won't need much more
Nasıl
time.
içiyor lu?
We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him
Lan
very
kel
useful.
seni tokatlayacağım oğlum.
They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobs does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right
Kral
moment.
diyorum ama harbi
He'll
kralsın
switch
ha.
sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities. And get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
Bu adam
You will follow in his
zamanında
footsteps, sire.
şeyle
As soon as
savaşmış
you
yani.
get the chance.
Osmanlı'yla. Osmanlı bunların içinden geçmiş.
But the wine is good
Tek
here.
başına.
To your health, Margaret.
Lan ne içtin be?
And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in the land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
Normalde
First, we need to crack down on the biggest
krala
troublemakers.
böyle konuşmamamız lazım. Da konuştuk inşallah.
While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Raposh. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Raposh falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
To bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
Gel lan içelim amına. Zafere.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Ne içtik ya? Çocukların anlatacağı ananın olur diyor. Lan sen kimsin? Eşşoğlu eşek. Biz lorduz lan. Aborşun kalesinde. Raboş. Burayı almak istiyorlar. Hassiktir. Raboş'u almak istiyorlarmış. Godwin'in babasının yeri.
You. I'm filled with grief. Look. The Margaret loves
You fuck a bit, then die. How'd you like her wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition. Recipes are passed on from father to son. I myself was practically raised on wine. Even the French royal court took note of my refinement. The king himself had wine delivered for his table.
Bu çok yalancı ya.
Best bar. This wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would give me 100 nights in 4 hours.
I'd rather eat well. Have you lost your hearing? I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. So, to Brighton, come now. What's become of you?
I never had...
Truly?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the...
See now. Only there's nothing to drink. Fuck.
I've got a tongue like a slice of...
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father, I had my eye on him all evening. He had pitchers brought from somewhere and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pitchers for us.
You can bet on it. I've got a...
I don't doubt it. I'd rather eat. They got by without us so far. They'll be fine.
Sigismund's men can trample over us one after another.
I wouldn't despair just...
If the Queen did this, there wouldn't be no war.
Still can't wait for that ginger cup to finally fuck off.
Right?
I thought your Alicia was brown-eyed, though.
Hey, man. I'd rather eat well. Where are we supposed to keep watch outside the gate today?
I am not sure. Were we?
But we made an enough Parish priest has quite a view, sweating at the altar, nearly drops his psalter. Alleluia Domine, Alleluia Domine.
I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too
All day long, they're...
Sorry, have you...
From cleaning up this pigsty? Any...
I mean the ones with the really...
And you're one of those?
I should say...
And I'm... Anyway, I don't know nothing about no wine. And try asking my mom. She's the
I've come to
Really?
Well...
Do you play dice?
You mean...
You strip if you like. Either way, you'll end up bare-assed and with an...
I'll give that a...
Not up to... Look, if you want a bit of fun, go and see Dasha.
Excellent. Good day. Well...
Sorry, I don't want...
What do you think? A fortress full of hungry mouths and half of them noble lords. He didn't have to choose me. My old ma spent her whole life in this kitchen, and my...
Wait! You confused...
It's been a long time since anyone has... I was afraid you'll forgot.
You haven't changed.
But I have. And you've changed too. You left a haughty young pup.
An old...
Not at all. The years have been...
And how have you been all this time?
Not really. When he remarried and had another son, I also got married. And soon I had my little Elishka running around under... Young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometimes. He was always a...
And your husband?
Kuba. He died when Elishka was just a baby. He got bitten by a dog.
God grant him Tell me more about Elishka.
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here for now. But I'm sure they'll find...
Well, aren't you worried about her?
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the village. I put up with all sorts of...
Why don't we go somewhere together? And...
You really haven't changed. You ought go and have a drink and stop chasing girls. I mean, it's embarrassing at your...
Where might I find a really...
Why? You don't like...
It's not for me.
Aha. If you go down the cellar stairs, it's Lord Odorin's best. He's drunk plenty.
Jesus wept.
Karı söyledi. Ne oldu lan?
It's more suited for a ride in the woods or a hunt.
May I interrupt you for a moment?
You already did. What's the matter?
Everyone keeps saying that the prettiest girl... I didn't believe it. What are you blabbering?
Haven't you had a little too much?
Not at all. I could drink...
No need.
Stop bothering us and go pester someone else. Dasha.
Siktir git.
May I interrupt?
You already...
What's the matter?
Good evening, my esteemed lady.
No matter. I know, although Martin hardly spoke of you.
It's been a
Oğlum yanlışlıkla ayrıl dedim ya. Merakımdan ölürüm yoksa.
Yet another impoverished nobleman. Not the first, then you will wake up in a
Çam. Sıçmaya başladı.
From cleaning up this pic...
I've...
Really?
Well...
Oh, do you play dice?
You mean...
You strip if you like. Either way, you'll end up bare-assed and with an
All right.
Zarda yenersek sikeceğiz. Bir şey gözükmüyor ki. İki altı, 4. Tamam. Bir şey görmüyorum. Ana avradım. 1. Bir tane 1 aldık.
You're not afraid of anything.
Bir tane 5 aldık. Kırdık 200 puan. Elimiz kötü.
That's enough for me.
Eyvah eyvah sıçmaya başladı. 1, 2 var mı? 3, 4, 5 al. Bu kadar da kötü gelmez ya. Hadi lan, 150 puan.
That'll work. My God.
Dans etti. Lan sikeceğim oğlum seni. Tövbe estağfurullah.
Cover. Why do I even play?
I need help with something. I mean the ones with the...
And you're one of those.
I should say...
And anyway, I try asking my mom.
Oğlum çakışmasını oynamadık mı biz ya?
Greetings.
Sorry,
What do you think? A fortress full of hungry men. He didn't have to choose me.
Wait.
It's been... I was afraid you'll forget.
You have...
But I have.
No.
Not at all. The...
And how...
Not really. I also young...
Why... And...
You really have... You...
Well...
Why?
It's not...
Aha, it's look...
Good evening, my esteemed...
No matter. I know who, although Indeed. So, the stories of how, in your youth, you used to...
And I also heard that you once fell drunk into the trench in front of the fortress.
All right, I can...
And is it not true that one of your paramours made off with your late mother's jewelry?
We are all sinners, Mom. And besides, that was...
Unquestionably. My husband...
Is your husband...
You won't find him here. He stayed at home in our fortress.
Or any journeys, for that matter. Even where the king goes on his own 2 feet, My husband has to be carried by 3 servants.
All his life, he gorged himself on meat. Hey.
Would you kindly...
This is Lady Christina, second wife of Lord Binyek of Nostitz. She's standing in for him here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come?
Because he's been rotting for nearly a year.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mom.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word of it. Perhaps worldly powers will come to our aid once the promise...
What's your...
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like... But in the end, it seems the agreement arrived at...
It's rather noisy.
It is, a bit. But that's all part of celebrations, and...
Wouldn't you prefer a little privacy?
Restrain your ardor. You're not the first to try and lure my girls somewhere if you want to amuse yourself with them.
But I had no...
And while you're on your way, we're quite thirsty.
Do I look like a servant to you?
No, but surely you wouldn't leave these young ladies. Be so kind to bring us another pitcher of wine. I don't know what's in those kegs, and I...
In the simplest terms, I'm offering you a business deal, without any ulterior motive.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir...
All hail Jobst. He sorted things out here nicely. He got my money for us, but you know how it goes. I explained to the market that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. He's still young and full of piss and vinegar. I'm too old and fond of...
did you at least discuss...
Nothing to discuss. The wedding will take place. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times...
But there are... I'd bet my right arm, old Hanush, will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Ratai? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent...
Have you ever thought about getting married again? It would make a lot...
Having a good time? It's a fucking bore. Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food. I'd rather have a game of dice.
Yeah, lan.
Don't you dare get into a... Aye, I forgot. Only the younger Lord of Rabors. Leave it out. No, they wouldn't have to force me. Right? Well, let's have a game then. For coin. Playing for... I might have something. And what might... Let's keep it a surprise. What the hell? You bet it.
Tek attım. Avuç.
You can dip that rotten carrot in lard and ram... But if you don't like your prize... Here you are. You've got no imagination. It's not for eating. Like I could shove it down the back of the cus...
Orası bir çocuğu.
Greetings, friend.
Want to roll some... Sure. I don't... Well, you can stuff yourself in... Everybody likes a drop of white. The red'll be good, I hope. would white be better? God, give me a sign.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rootard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Kim o?
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
Çok koyarım lan. Dostlar, bu bölümün burada sonuna gelelim. İzlediğiniz için teşekkür ederim. Bir dahaki bölümde görüşmek üzere.